What's the deal, ladies and gentlemen? I'm back with my partner in crime, Dean, the tech guy. And you know what's crazy? It's been I did a video. When did those specs, the official documents? When did they come out? About 2-3 days ago. And it's crazy, right? You know, I'm listening. I don't really watch many people's channels, but we all know who the pro YouTubers are, like the sites, those channels on YouTube, especially the one that's been pushing this whole 1080p, you know, agenda for the last 3 years. None of them are doing videos talking about the PS4 Neo. You know, because it is what it is. I don't care how you spin it. The Xbox Scorpio destroys it in performance. You know what I mean? And again, and for so many people, and it's going to say in the comment section that are here, the weirdos. I've been running into some weird dudes. That Joker told me last night. But I know the Scorpio is not next generation, but it's not an Xbox either. He told me I bullshit. You know, a Joker told me last night on Twitter. Mine it was like 2 o'clock in the morning that the Project Scorpio was not an Xbox. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Like I can't make this shit up. But we all know the ones that have been pushing the line of this agenda about the whole resolution and, you know what I mean, the Xbox, the shit box, the 720p box, the 900p box. And like I said, you know, and now the shoe is on the other foot. You know what I mean? Now, you know what I mean, you guys, you and I'm not saying all Sony fans. I'm talking about the ones that the vocal minority that have been pushing this agenda for the last 3 years. And I told you guys before, like, you know, resolution doesn't mean a big thing to me, and resolution, and you know, Frank. But I will play on PC. Like, you know what I mean? I just prefer the Xbox. I've always said that. But guess what? Now, you motherfuckers gonna get that work. You know what I mean? Yeah. You guys, you're not going to be able to achieve. What's the shit they got to do, Dean? To achieve this? Because you made a big shit about, you know, Quantum Brink bringing 720p and the technique that they were, even though, you know what I mean, the technique that they were using. Let's talk about this. How Sony's going to achieve this make believe 4K. Dean, you there?
Well, basically they're going to do the reconstruction of the image. So they're going to take a smaller res of it, and they just keep putting it together to get a 1080p image. They're not really using the same method that Microsoft used for Quantum Break. They're using more of the method in Rainbow Six, the checkerboard method.
Checkerboard.
Yeah, and according to the documents that leaked, it's basically going to be 1880p upscale to 4K. Yeah. And they said in the documents that if you can't reach the 1880p, contact your local department within Sony, and they'll help you achieve the 1800p.
You know what, bro? Again, I like I said, some of the comments that I've been reading for the last 2 days have been crazy as hell. Now they were saying, well, you know, no one really needs 4K. It's 1080p. I'd rather have 1080p 60 frames a second than 4K 30. Like, first of all, I want to say this: you don't know what what resolution. Like, why can't it be 4K? You got to realize this. I mean, you know, at a minimum, the Scorpio is going to be 6 teraflops with a super duper processor. You know what I mean? A CPU. Sony's console is using the same shitty Jaguar fucking CPU, mobile CPU. You know what I mean? But so not only are games are going to run at a higher resolution, a higher frame rate on the Scorpio, they're going to look better graphically. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, no longer was Sony, quote unquote, like you said, you know what I mean? Like I said, I've always had both consoles, and if games looked that much better on my fucking PlayStation 4, I would have bought them on PlayStation 4. You know what I mean? But now we're talking about, Jesus, you know, it's not even comparable. It's night and day. Games are going to look better graphically, you know what I mean, on the Scorpio. And a lot of people are now fucking jumping ship. But someone like the diehard that's trying to go down with the ship, yo, some of the shit I was reading on Twitter fucking blew my mind, man. Motherfucker told me that, you know, well, the Scorpio was not, I know it's not, because Phil said it's not a next generation console, still in the Xbox ecosystem. Well, he said it's not really, and even, is the Scorpio even an Xbox? I'm like, what the fuck? Like, no, that's like, what are you? Hey, bro, I can't make this shit up. Like some of the shit I've been hearing was like, yo, well, at least the Scorpio, it doesn't have any fucking exclusives. What do you mean it doesn't have any fucking exclusives? If you wanted this, honestly, just think about it. And if you want to really, 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 and this is not even a theory, this is fact. You say men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. You want to really know who's fucking running gaming? It's Microsoft. Every fucking, this is for you PC elitists. What's your operating system? Windows, right? So there are way more Windows 10 devices out there could potentially be used for gaming than fucking PlayStation 4s. That's just a fact. But what do you mean the Scorpio doesn't have any exclusives? If Microsoft wants to sell their own intellectual properties in their own store, what is the fucking, what, I don't, yeah, exactly. If Sony had their own OS, you don't think that they wouldn't fucking put their games in their own Sony store? That's like me saying, you know what, God of War 3 is not a PlayStation 3 exclusive anymore because I can play that on my Samsung television.
And these guys with their arguments about it's going to be on PC, so I don't need to get a console. Hey, I like PC. PC is great, but let's be honest here. To game on PC, it's a lot more expensive than gaming on the console. Yes, you get some of the games cheaper on PC, but overall, PC is more expensive. The hardware is more expensive. You gotta buy the CPU. You gotta buy the GPU. If every say 3-4 years you update your CPU, you're paying like another $400 just for your CPU. If you want a really good GPU, you're paying like $400. For instance, yesterday, I have two R9 390s in my computer. And I've been trying to overclock them, and my computer just keeps crapping out every time I overclock it. So I'm doing more tests. I'm like, I need about another 200 watts of power, and I already have an 850 watt power supply. So today I got to go out and I got to spend like $200 to get another power supply. So there's a lot more costs involved with PC. Console, you pay one price. You pay let's say from $400 to $500, and then that's it. You're just paying for your games. That's it.
Yeah. But like I said, man, I think it's funny now that Microsoft has the upper hand. Now that they're trying to change the agenda. You motherfuckers have pushed this whole 1080p or give me that. You know what's funny? I was fucking with the guys in the Facebook group, Bang Bang Next Gen Gamers. I said, so I find it funny that the Neo it's not going to be able to achieve native 4K game. They got to use this checkboard technique, right? Because you guys had so much to say about the dynamic resolution at 1080p and all this shit. You know what I mean? And then what's scary? It was like, well, it's really the most important thing is 1080p 60. How many motherfucking 1080p 60 frames in games did you play on that was on the PlayStation 4? How many? How many? That's what I'm trying to say. Everything's been 1080p 30. Then another motherfucker told me, well, I'll take 1440p 60 frames a second than 4K 30. I said, well, how much is a 1440p television? What do you sell those at? You know what I mean? Like, where you can buy a 1440p TV at? Let me know. I buy TVs every year. So what the fuck would you buy a 1440p television? You know what I mean? Like, it's been crazy as hell how they constantly trying to fucking move the goalposts. You know what I mean?
Well, I will say this though. At 1440p is higher than 1080p, and at 60 frames per second, your TV is gonna upscale it to 4K. So it is gonna be a better image than 1080p. But then again, it's no Scorpio. It's not gonna be no 4K 60 frames per second. So it's still not going to be the same fidelity as the Scorpio.
But you know what? And you're absolutely right. You know what I mean? In the perfect world, like I said, I've always owned all the consoles. But, 900p wasn't good enough for us. You know what I mean? So guess what? 1440p and even 1800p is not. It's 4K or give me death. Remember that shit? Remember that shit Sony said, get used to hearing 1080p, 60 frames. Said, you guys have pushed this fucking narrative for 3 fucking years. You know what I mean? I think it's the craziest thing in the world for console gamers to argue about resolution. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
I just, what I mean? Because if you look at last generation, I say it again, over 99.9% of the games that were on the, especially the multiplats that were on the PlayStation 3 were sub HD, which is upscale. You understand what I'm saying? It's just a fact. You know what I mean? So So this generation, I mean, if you want to say Sony had the better version of the multi-plats because some of them ran at a higher resolution. Okay, I give you that. Won't you guys tell me why would you want to buy the inferior version? So I'm gonna say the same shit to you. Why would you want to buy the inferior version? Well, I don't have a 4K television. It doesn't matter. Games are gonna look better graphically on the fucking Scorpio. It's much better hardware.
Even if they have a 1080p TV, it's still, because it's gonna downscale it to that resolution. It's still gonna look better.
Better textures, better shaders, particle effect, every tessellation, everything is going to look better and run better on the Scorpio. Hands fucking down. Now they say, well, the Scorpio is going to be really, really expensive. How the fuck you know it's going to be? Like you got to fucking, they do everything in their will and their power to fucking try to change the fucking narrative. And again, and I say this today, some people, like you say, don't like quote unquote participate in this console war because this shit has been kind of wild this generation. There's always been a console war, even going back to the days of ColecoVision and the Atari. People always want to fucking validate their purchase. Dating back to the days of the VHS versus the Betamax. You know what I mean? People, or even HD DVD to Blu-ray. People always want to feel like they didn't buy fucking lemon. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But I'm talking to you Xbox fans that's been here. You understand? When I say that it hasn't been easy being an Xbox fan this generation, we didn't get the chance to just enjoy our exclusives. We didn't. You know what I mean? You had sites like Digital Foundry taking betas and the beta is 720p. But you know what's crazy? I don't hear no sites now talking about resolution anymore. I don't hear nobody. By now we heard Battlefield 1 is only 720p on the Xbox One. We don't hear about resolution anymore. No one wants to talk about resolution. Nobody. Nope. None of these sites, the IGNs, the Kotakus, the GameSpots, nobody wants to fucking talk about resolution anymore. Why is that? This has been your only argument for the last 3 years. Now, I've always said this. I said, we can argue all day. It's, I guess, conjecture, whatever, who has the better exclusives, whether you prefer God of War or whether you prefer Gears of War. That's all up to one's opinion and what they prefer. One's preference, okay? But one thing that cannot be disputed is multiplats. And I tell you time and time again, multiplats rule. You get exclusives every 4 to 5 months. You get multiplats every Tuesday. Going forward, the Xbox Scorpio, Project X, whatever you want to call it, will have the better version of multiplats. That's not even up for fucking debate. Period. You know what I mean? Period. And you know what's, like I said, even going over these, I'm bringing these documents up. Even going over these documents, I didn't see anything about HDR in it. Did you read anything about HDR?
No, I didn't see anything about HDR in it. No.
Do you think it's
the Neo? I didn't see anything about HDMI 2.0A either.
You know what I mean? Again, I don't, like I said, do you think that the PS4 Neo will be able to perform HDR? Now, I know HDR isn't it embedded in Windows 10 and DirectX 12?
Yeah, they already laid down the groundwork, so devs don't really have to do anything. It's already implemented, and the HDR, it doesn't even task the game too much because the calculations are already there from like the physical rendering, right? Mm-hmm. So it's already there. So if the PS4 Neo has, and I'm gonna assume it has an HDMI 2.0 because it should have a 4K Blu-ray player as well. Mm-hmm. They would be able to code for it. Yeah, they would be able to make HDR games, but how easily, I don't know, because it's not built into the API. So devs are going to have to implement it. So I don't know how many games are going to support it, and I don't know if the devs are going to even put in the effort to support it. It's unknown because their API is different from Windows 10. Whereas on Windows 10, every Microsoft game is going to support HDR right off the bat. So we know all the Microsoft exclusives are going to have HDR.
But even here's the thing: you have two versions of HDR. You have HDR, Dolby Digital, and you have HDR 10. HDR 10 is the standard. HDR Dolby Digital, which is a better version. It's more like a chip. You want to explain it to the audience? Because some people still don't understand. Don't really understand between the two versions of HDR, and people are now buying 4K televisions with HDR. Explaining them, what they need and what's the difference.
Well, okay, it's Dolby Vision actually HDR, mm-hmm. and Actually, both HDRs are done on the chip. The difference is that HDR10 is open standard, so every HDMI 2.0 already has that chip on board. Now, for Dolby Vision HDR, you do need a separate chip for it, but it can be easily implemented by any of the companies. You just have to pay the licensing fee. Now, the difference between HDR10 and Dolby Vision HDR is basically down to the tone mapping and sorry, I lost my train of thought there. It's down to the tone mapping and the dynamic metadata. Now, the dynamic metadata adjusts the color and the brightness on a scene to scene and frame to frame basis, and HDR 10 it just does it for the whole thing. Like it doesn't adjust on a scene to scene basis, so it has a better bright to dark color ratio, and it has a little bit better dimming and a little bit better highlights, and it's more tuned to the set's capability, because a lot of Dolby Vision sets, they don't get as bright as HDR10 sets. HDR10 sets, they go to 1,000 nits and above, where Dolby Vision HDR TVs are pretty much stuck at 700 nits right now. So to compensate for that, they use the dynamic metadata. Now, the other, I know it's been proposed to the UHD Alliance for them to add it to HDR10. So the other companies are going to have to decide whether they want to add it or not. But Samsung has said they're going to add it, and they're going to be pushing out an update this year to all of their 4K HDR sets that will support the dynamic metadata. And then once that happens, they're virtually going to look the same, with the HDR10 being brighter.
I want to address my man. I got a guy in the comment section named GD1010. He said a closed system or not, 4K 60 is hard to achieve on a $25 PC. Let me explain this to you, bro. You say if you have a 980 Ti in your rig, okay? That graphics card that you have, which is a decent card, which can achieve 4K gaming, you're not using that whole card for gaming. You have a resource hall called Windows, right? And if you're on a PC right now and you're listening to us, hit Control Alt Delete, and you bring up the CPU, what are you using to even watch this show? And a console, whatever specs is going to be in this, is rumored to use Zen, and what's the other one they're using? Zen and Vega, you know what I mean? Yeah, which really, you know what I mean? Microsoft, when it came out and said, I'm sorry, 4K and 60 hertz. I mean, if it wasn't achievable, trust me, they're not going to come out there and say that. But if you take a console, if you take a PC that's 6 teraflops, and you take a console, let's say the Scorpio, which is 6 teraflops, that Scorpio would dance circles around that fucking PC. It was a site that they did the breakdown of the rumored specs that's going to be in a Scorpio. They will cost you about between $1,500 to $1,600 to put the same specs inside of a rig. And again, the Scorpio would dance circles around it. Why? Because you're going to have developers. The most important thing, besides it being in a closed environment, the developers can target those exact specs that are in the fucking Scorpio. See, with PC gaming, you can have a 980, he can have a Titan, he can have a 670. The games are not fully optimized on a PC, and you can't use all the resources just dedicated for gaming, because even though you can game on your PC is used for a multiple of other things, you know what I mean? Right. Typing, punching, internet, and all that shit, you know what I mean? It's not even the same sandwich, like, you know what I mean? At least you can't play games on your PC, but we're talking about consoles. You know what I mean? I guess, first you got some people saying, well, there's no way that Microsoft can like first of all, stop it. You know what I mean? Again, that's a quote unquote, I guess, a bold statement. Now, if you think you should be upset, because Sony the one that came out and said, get used to hearing 1080p 60. You know what I mean? And if you listen to what Microsoft, again, let me say this: if you listen to what Microsoft said, they could have did what Sony did and put out a beefier Xbox One right now, but they wanted a true 4K experience, and the chips and stuff that they're using, you know what I mean, it's not going to be available until next year. You know what I mean? And I'm just being real, like, you know what I mean. So, don't just come out and make these asinine comments is that it can't be 4K 60. Like you don't know that.
Well,
you don't know what the Zen and the Vega you don't have a clue to what you're talking about. You know
well,
what I mean?
I want to say this, that there's to address that guy. There's
Yeah.
there's a lot of
No
variables.
disrespect. I'm not even trying to disrespect you, dude. You know what I mean? I just want to say because I hear a lot of people keep saying it, and the reason why I say that again because since and I keep reiterating, I keep saying this since I've been doing YouTube, I've met several developers. You know, and like I said, you'd be surprised who watches your channels, and sometimes they read some of the comment section, like you know what I mean. Everybody's a fucking tech genius and this, that, and the other, and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like you know what I mean? Like you don't know what they're going to be able to achieve again with this fucking Zen and Vega together. I'm saying it's going to be something beautiful. And I heard this from 3 different people. I just want to say that who doesn't have a dog in this fight. What I mean by that, they want their games to sell on both Microsoft platform, Nintendo's platform, and you know Sony's platform. They don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Microsoft is working on something very, very special. I just want to say that. Go ahead, Dean.
Yeah, so I want to say this is that there's a lot of variables. First of all, we know it's going to be using the Zen CPU, but
Yes.
we really don't know much about the Zen CPU. So we don't know how powerful it is, how many threads it's going to be running, for starters, okay? But we do know that it's going to be part of the GCN architecture, right? Which is a part of async compute, right? So we know that Vega is obviously going to be GCN 4.0 or maybe higher. So it's also improved GCN cores. So we know going forward, because right now on PC, they're dropping a lot of updates for asynchronous compute. And these updates are seeing huge increases on frames per second, and these GPUs are finally starting to get properly utilized. Now, when you have this in an enclosed box that is designed to do asynchronous compute, and you have a Zen CPU that's designed to do asynchronous compute, you have the GPU that's designed to do that. You have enough bandwidth on there because it has 320 gigabytes of bandwidth. So you got enough bandwidth on there. You got 12 gigabytes of RAM on it. And also, too, we don't know what type of compression algorithms that Vega is using because Vega is specifically designed for 4K. So a 7 teraflop GCN async compute enabled GPU could easily do 4K 60 frames per second. We saw this week when Doom dropped the Vulkan update, which is a low-level API. It's pretty much like DX12. It's based off of Mantle, and people were seeing an increase of 30 to 40 frames per second on old hardware that has no business doing 4K. But their cards are getting up to doing 4K now. So once asynchronous compute is put into full effect, definitely a 7 teraflop system will be able to do 4K because you got the CPU doing tasks, you got the GPU taking over for tasks. There's no more scheduling. Everything gets done quicker, and it's a much more efficient system. So I totally agree with you. People need to wait till we get all the details, but the promise is there with Vega and of the low-level APIs, asynchronous compute through DX12, and it's most definitely capable of doing it. One thing we know for sure, though, is that the PS4 Neo at 4.2 teraflops won't be doing it. It will be upscaling from 800p. So.
Oh, your mic went out. Your mic went out, son. You there? Hello, ding. Hello. Mom, I done lost Ding. I don't know what the hell happened just now. Hold on.
Yeah, I got clipped off. You there?
Oh yeah, I'm here back. You think you were saying yeah.
Yeah, no. So like those PS4 owners that are trying to make fun saying that the Scorpio, that the Scorpio can't do 4K 60 frames per second. That's untrue because we know it's a more advanced GPU. It's going to be using a newer version of GCN, and it's going to be based off the Vega line, which is specifically designed for 4K. It says it right there on their roadmap. And the PS4 Neo is clearly based off of the Polaris architecture, as it has the exact same CUs. It's just clocked lower. And we know that the Polaris, it's great at 1080p, it's great at 1440p, but it can't do 4K 60 frames per second.
Yeah, yeah. But even here's the thing, and not to be blunt, even if listen, you know what? and it's and I'm gonna put it frankly, okay, because people have such high standards when it comes to well, it's not gonna be 4K 6. Guess what? It's gonna be whatever it does. Games will look better and running better on the Scorpio, and that's not even up for discussion. That's all. Well, I don't give a fuck if it does 2K at 20 frames a second. Games will look better graphically, and running a higher resolution and a better in a higher frame rate than the Neo. That's fact. When people, I just want to say this: if people will make emphasis on the 6T flops and the full, it's that what's the most important thing again is that the Neo only has 36 CUs. The fucking Scorpio has 60. You understand that? That's a lot of fuck. It has 60 computers. That's a lot of fucking power in the fucking console. Like we're really into for something very, very, very special. You know what I mean? Which cannot be denied. You know what I mean? And for real. And again, you know what was crazy? You know what I mean? Which I don't know why. I hope Sony will change this because in the day I am a gamer and I will have everything. I wish they would change the CPU. They still cheap and stand with that Jaguar CPU. Which is shitty as fuck, you know what I mean? Yes, it has 36 CUs, but that's not enough. That Jaguar's not enough to really feed the fucking GPU. It's not. You know what I mean?
And I was under the impression before because there was rumors that they were thinking about changing the CPU, but then according to those documents, they said that the dev kits shipped between I think it was like March and May, that those would be final hardware.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So,
So they're not changing shit. That's it. It is what it is.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So what's most important, again, I understand that some engines are GPU heavy, which is cool. That's why, Sony was able to achieve, 1080p, 90% of the time because, it was a two-core GPU. I get it. But their Achilles heel has always been their anemic CPU. You know what I mean? And in the day, like to a high, and they also, still stand. It's rumored also to again looking at the motherboard, that the Xbox One has 12 gigabytes of GDDR5 RAM. You know what I mean? Like it's not even close. Like it's really just forget the fucking teraflops and all that shit. Has over fucking 4 more gigs of fucking RAM. Look at this. You have the PS4 or whatever. It has 8 gigs of GDDR5 RAM. Only but 5 or 5.5 is allocated for gaming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here it is with here it is again with the Scorpio has 12 gigabytes of fucking GDDR5. And just saying, even if they keep 4 for the OS for the multitasking and all that shit, you're gonna have at least 8 gigs of fucking GDDR5 RAM running at a much higher memory bandwidth allocated for gaming. You mean to tell me they can't do fucking 4K 60? You motherfuckers are bugging.
And like people keep forgetting that, like I said again, it's going to be Vega. That architecture is built for 4K. We do not know what type of compression algorithms that they're using. I'm more than confident to know that it's going to get to 4K 60 frames per second. I truly believe that. And another thing where Sony's going to be hampered with the PS4 Neo is with asynchronous compute. With the Scorpio having a lot more CUs and having a much beefier CPU, they're going to do asynchronous compute much better, much more efficiently. Yeah. And another thing is that devs are now starting to use like Vulkan, they're starting to use DX12, and they're starting to wrap their fingers around it. Now the PS4 has its own proprietary API, right? They're not using Vulkan, they're not using DX12, they're not even really using OpenGL. They're using like their own proprietary stuff there. Now, as devs are getting familiar with DX12, and the ease of use for them to develop using it, because basically they're just pressing a couple of buttons. They can code for the Xbox One, they can code for the PC, they can code for the tablets, for the phones, for the laptops. They just program it once. It's the PS4 Neo games are not going to be as optimized because they're not going to want to put as much time and effort into it as well. It's another issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but like I said, stop it. I guess it just was as a gamer. I'm gonna say this, and I said it before. You know what I mean? I guess everyone prefers to have their own quote unquote their brand of choice, which is cool. Where I'm an Xbox, you may be a Sony dude, but don't it's you motherfuckers that have pushed the line. You know what I mean? Now take your fucking L, hold your head. You know what? Like, fine. Xbox fans conceded that the PS4 was slightly more powerful. You guys made a big fucking to-do over a tenth or whatever. You know what I mean? Wasn't that really big of a deal between the Xbox One and the fucking PlayStation in terms of fucking performance, power? You know what I mean? Wasn't that, you know, the PS4 wasn't that much more powerful than the Xbox One? 1.33 to 1.8 or something. You know what I mean? 5. I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal. You know what I mean? To put this in layman's terms, I want you to be clear this. So some of you motherfuckers are still in denial. To equal, at a minimum, the Xbox Scorpio is 6 teraflops. To equal the Scorpio, you're gonna need a fucking standard PlayStation 4 plus a fucking Neo. Okay? That's let you know right now how powerful the goddamn Scorpio is. You're gonna need 2 Sony systems to equal a fucking Scorpio. Get your calculators out and add. You know what I mean? You're gonna need a fucking vanilla PlayStation 4 and a fucking Neo to get you about 6 teraflops. And that's just at a minimum.
Add some tape, man.
And yeah, tape them bitches together with duct tape. Put the bitch in the garbage bag. You know what I mean? Take 2 dick pills and call me in the morning. You're gonna listen. Listen. I'm telling you. It's what I'm telling you, that games are going to fucking destroy the fucking Neo. I'm talking about multi-fucking blast. All that fucking power right there. You know what I mean? You need 2 fucking systems. You're gonna need both of your next quote unquote next generation console. So whether the Neo and the fucking vanilla to equal the Scorpio. Like, come on, man. Like, listen. Now, this is crazy. Let that been Sony on the other hand. You motherfuckers have been jumping up and down. Now, listen. Could Sony come out there and change their fucking maybe their CPU, which I hope they do or whatever. But I told you this is how business fucking works at the end of the day. You know, these consoles have been in production for at least 2 years. We're just not hearing about them. You know what I mean? I told you I started hearing about 5 months ago. I'm not going to go on that story there. You know what I mean? But when they have a contract with AMD, whoever, so you know what? Give us this X, Y, and Z. This is what we want right here. You know what I mean? You can't just say, you know what? And this, when I say you have 2 years of R&D, research and development, make sure the console doesn't overheat, shit is not crashing, yada, yada, enough airflow. If you can leave it on, that shit takes time, money. You understand what I'm saying? Stress tests. It's not something that you just change in a blink and like, you know what, E3, so you know what? Microsoft is powerful. You know what? Give me what's on the second shelf. What you know about these million fucking chips you order? You're just gonna eat the cost of those, and you know it doesn't work like that in a perfect world. Like I don't know what the fuck, you know. Well, Sony can change. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, only thing that wasn't really more or less set in stone was the CPU. Maybe that can change. You know what I mean? But far as you know, your GPG, that's what you get. You got 36 CUs. You know what I mean? I hope Sony, you know what I mean? Even if they change the CU, that's not going to give you a teraflopping fucking performance. You know what I mean? That's not going to go from 4.2 to jump up to 5. And, you know what I mean? It's just like, it doesn't work like that, man, you know? And even just what? So even if fucking, because I heard this from somebody, again, Microsoft said 6 just to be fucking, to throw that out there. You know what I mean? The Scorpio doesn't come out till next year. That 6 can go in between 6 to fucking 8 teraflops. I've heard this from 2 different people. You know what I mean? That, you know, their shit is not set in stone. You know what I mean? So if Sony want to be coy, they want to get this shit up to say 5, Microsoft still is going to fucking crush them. Still. You know what I mean?
I just find it so funny that the whole narrative of this generation, which was resolution, is going to be the one thing that does Sony in the next console refresh.
Yeah.
Because they're technically going to have almost half the resolution of what the Xbox One Scorpio is going to have.
They are. They are. I mean, in fact, you're absolutely right. What's been their selling point, which has never been the game. They don't talk about the game. It's been resolution power. We were the world's most. Now you guys have put yourself in this fucking corner. You didn't put yourself in the box. You know what I mean? Now some of you motherfuckers have already, fuck that. I'm Team Scorpio. I've seen the comments in my comment section. I mean, I get it. It is what it is. But like some of you motherfuckers are still in denial. Well, we don't have an official fucking announcement from Sony. Like, come on, god damn. Like, y'all bugging. There is no more fucking power. Y'all got some 5.5 T flops and this, that, and the other. If you listen to what fucking what's my man name? Phil Spencer said. He said we could have did what Sony did, but for a true 4K gaming experience, the technology that they're wanting to use, it's not going to come. The tech is coming out to next year. And also, if you listen to what AMD said, they said, they have, multiple, products coming out this generation. The NX got pushed back for whatever reason. But the console was coming out this year in October. It just had a leak on Amazon. It's 450 pounds. It's 400 pounds. It was maybe like 450 here in the States. The VR comes out October 13th, if I'm not mistaken. And
that console comes out the 13th too.
Yeah, so the Scorpio was coming out the fucking, the 13th of October. You know what I mean? Sony has a console for whatever it is, for 400 pounds. That's released on the same day as the fucking the VR headset. You know what I mean? And for Sony, like I said, they're heavily invested into VR. And for the VR to truly shine, you need the PlayStation 4 Neo. You know what I mean? Like I said, they're fucking liars. If you look at fucking E3 and you look at the games that they showed you on VR, those looked like PlayStation 4 games. If you go back and look at the other VR games, those just like fucking PlayStation 2 games. You know what I mean? And some of you, these motherfuckers arguing me down. Well, that wasn't the fucking Neo. That was a vanilla PlayStation 4. If you think you're fucking vanilla PlayStation 4, what's that game called? No Days Gone or No Days Left?
Days Gone, No Days.
All those fucking enemies on the screen with no slowdown. Like, there's no need for a fucking Scorpio or Neo.
And also, too, watching that, because I watched the press conference, you could tell that there was something missing. There was like a big gap there. And then they ended the conference with that. And I think what they wanted to do was say, this is the Neo. It's coming, I don't know, at Q4 2016. And here's a game running in Neo mode. Boom. And they wanted to end the show with that. And I'm willing to bet half of my last dollar that's what they did.
Yeah, but bro, you have a PlayStation 4 at home. I'm just being real. You can probably say, what's the best looking game on the PlayStation 4? Maybe you want to say Uncharted or whatever?
I would say it's between Uncharted and Infamous Second Son.
Oh, whatever. Those games that they showed on stage look 3 times better than that graphically.
Definitely.
So again, if you think your standard PS4 can achieve those graphics, those visuals, like, you're bugging the fuck out. Now, you saw how good those games looked on stage on the Neo, which they did look good. I'm not gonna lie. Could you imagine what they're gonna look like on the fucking Scorpio? Jesus. If they were able to do Rise, Son of Rome with 1.3 teraflops, could you imagine what they're gonna be able to achieve with fucking 6 fucking teraflops? Like, could you fucking imagine?
You know what? If I was like solely a PS owner, I wouldn't get the Neo. Personally, I don't think it's a big enough jump to go up to it. I would just hold out, wait a year, and I would wait to get the Scorpio, or I would get an Xbox One S, because Xbox One owners, they could jump up to the Xbox One S. It's the base model is cheaper than a lot of the models because it's just $299. You're getting all your games upscaled to 4K, just like the Neo is doing. and additionally, you're getting HDR gaming.
Yeah, somebody said I didn't see anything about HDR. Some guy, that guy, same GD said that I didn't see. I saw the documents, unless I missed it. I didn't see anything about HDR in there. Did you see anything about HDR in there?
No, I went through. I didn't see anything about HDR. Like
I'm looking for his comment. He said, I guess because I was just searching for the official documents on line again. I don't say they didn't take them down. So again, if they were fake, why the fuck would they take them down? I don't see. I'm looking for the guy's comment again. I don't see it. Let me scroll down to the bottom. He said,
no, I read the documents. It didn't say anything about HDR in there. It didn't say anything about 4K Blu-rays. It didn't have any of that information.
That was to the developers. Maybe they didn't need to know anything about 4K Blu-ray. You know what? It would be fucked up by Sony if they put out the PS4 Slim and that has the 4K Blu-ray player, but the Neo doesn't. That would be fucking chinky as hell by fucking Sony, man. That would be some fucked up shit.
I don't know. I'm second guessing they're slim now. Like, I don't know. It's like a stupid idea, because how much are they going to price the Slim at? Like $50 cheaper than the Neo?
Well, the Neo is going to be $450. Most likely, and if the Neo is going to be probably $350, $300, $100 more, you can get the fucking Neo. This guy here check this shit out. And this is one of the main, not one main, but this motherfucker here been popping so much shit about these console wars. Motherfucker, Mr. 617 Bane, this nigga life revolves around this fake console war. You in the comments section, all these fucking videos, fuck Xbox, this 900p shit. Now you motherfuckers got the weaker fucking console. Now I'm propagating about a console war. Do me a favor, man. Go in the back of the church and suck your uncle's dick, fam.
What does he say? Is he like a PC guy? He's saying
no, he's a fucking pony. I'm propagating the console war. Me? Motherfucker, you go back and read some of your comments that you left them fucking BGST and all these different videos, and my life revolves around a console war? Nah, motherfucker, take this L. Go in the back of your church and suck your preacher's dick.
I don't understand these PS4 guys. If they don't want to hear anything about Xbox, why do they go to an Xbox channel?
I don't know, but because you know what? They come to these our channels to spew that pump their chest about how better the PS4 is than the Xbox. You know what I mean? I'm keeping it funky. You would never see me in a comment section of a pro PlayStation channel screaming how good of an Xbox is. I don't give a fuck. You play what you play. And you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. No channel I do go to sometime and I fuck with them, the Nintendo dudes. Like I fuck with Dr. Trey all the time. I said, damn, I thought you got killed in Orlando, you fucking fag. You know what I mean? I'll fuck with him all the time, you know what I mean? But you know, they ain't got nothing to do with no Xbox. Now I think those Nintendo dudes or some that I don't understand that bunch right there. I don't fucking get it. But you would never see me commenting on the pro. I don't give a fuck. I still don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? But for whatever reason, like these Sony dudes coming to our channels and pumping their chest to make them feel like they have their console was so much stronger. It's not the case anymore. So guess what? Because the shoot that I'm really bragging, I really don't give a fuck about. You don't get me wrong. My main thing is graphics, and I told you time and time again, resolution does not determine graphics. But the Scorpio is going to fucking have unprotected sex with the Neo. I can't wait for those Digital Foundry fucking face-offs. I can't fucking wait. And here's another thing. You guys better hope the fucking Neo is more powerful than the NX, because the NX is more powerful than the Neo. You guys are gonna have the weaker goddamn console this generation.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine the Neo is like 5 teraflops and
oh shit,
PS4 Neo is like 4.2. I'd laugh my ass off, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean. That would be great. That'd be fucking bananas. You guys better hope the Neo was more powerful than the goddamn NX. You know what I mean? Damn. Alex Escobar says, I respect you, Zaire, but you're still being unrealistic. I'm reading your comment. How am I being unrealistic, Alex? Assuming that Scorpio uses 6 teraflop. You listen. Our RX 480i is 5.1 teraflop for $200. Okay, I'm gonna tell you this to you, Alex Escobar. Listen to this, okay? You guys are thinking that the Scorpio is gonna be $700-800. It's not. That price you just gave me for our RX 480i or whatever, folks, that's what the consumer pays. Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo don't pay what we pay. That same $200 card right there, they probably would get for like $60. They're buying that shit by tens and millions. They buy that shit in bulk. And first of all, it's not going to be just a 480, whatever. It's going to be something that's custom. Whatever chip that goes in, whatever chip that Microsoft decides to go, GP, whatever that goes inside their console is going to be custom. And they're going to own that rights to that said patent, whatever. So you're probably never going to be able to buy that same said card in the store. Okay. All right. So it's at the end of the day, it's a they don't pay what we pay. You know what I mean?
I want to say this: the RX 480 once it got the latest update, and when Doom dropped the Vulkan API on it, that card it's I think when it's overclocked, I'm pretty sure that card is like 5.5 or like 5.6 teraflops. Now it's under 6, and that card at 4K in Doom at like all the settings cranked is getting like a good 40 to 44 frames per second at 4K. So now a 6 teraflop GPU with a Zen CPU that is optimized for GCN, which is optimized for AMD's GPUs, because I'm sure they're going to make their CPUs and their GPUs work in tandem, obviously. Mm-hmm. It's going to be doable on a low-level API, for sure. It's much more to the metal on the console.
So easy.
so they can do a lot more optimization. I'm telling you, people, when Vega hits, Vega's gonna blow minds. Vega is not coming out till 2017, unfortunately, so we're not gonna get more details till then. And
Yeah.
and it's definitely coming out 2017 because AMD just, I believe, was earlier this week. They confirmed that it's coming out in 2017. And watch when they talk about Vega and they talk about the new compression algorithms and how it will achieve 4K 60 frames per second. Then all you motherfuckers gonna be like, oh shit.
But here's another thing, and again, he's saying here, I'm looking, and again, GD1010, I guess that stands for game. I got a couple of friends that are Games of Disciples. Again, I'm not saying this to disrespect you in any shape, form, or fashion, okay? You can't go by some benchmarks of a graphics card on whatever site, okay? Because what I'm telling you again, when they do the benchmarks on those cards, they're running on a rig, and all that whole card is not allocated for gaming. You cannot compare a graphics card that's in a PC to a console. A console is just manufactured just to play fucking games.
Okay, tell him this too. Also, like it depends on the CPU. So if you have a weaker CPU, you're getting less out of your GPU, right? So like people that have like an i7 in their rig with like 8 cores, their GPU performs much better than the same GPU in a system with like an i3 or an i5. So the CPU has a big part in feeding the GPU, and it's gonna have Zen. Zen is gonna be a monster CPU.
Yeah, yeah. But like I said, in the day, they're fuck these with these. I understand with these sites they don't even run these benchmarks on these cards. All that's well and good. You're trying to run a benchmark on a card that we don't even know anything about. The card is, you don't know what GPU, whatever the fuck that's going to be in the Xbox One. And I've told you again, and the reason why I'm telling you this, because it was told to me. You know, I mean, you guys don't want to believe me if you can. You got to realize this. If you look at I've never once have ever claimed to be an industry insider. I don't. Maybe it's because the color of my skin, the way that I've talked. But I've told you guys months ago. I mean, now you've all changed your tone in the comment section. But maybe one or two of you guys may have believed me. You know what I mean? But I've told you guys months ago that new consoles were coming out, and no one fucking believed me. No one. They're just slims. And I told all you motherfuckers the new consoles. It was told to me. The same person that told me that the Xbox One was going to be do DX12. If you go back to my track record on my channel, I told you guys about DirectX 12 3 to 4 months before GDC in March in 2014. I was talking about DirectX 12 in 2013. The same person again. I don't have whether you choose to believe me or not. I don't even give a fuck at this point. I'm not here to prove anybody wrong. I'm not claiming any. If you believe me, rock out with me. If you don't fucking keep. I don't care. But at the end of the day. But I say that to say this. You know what I mean? For even if the Scorpio doesn't do 4K 60, okay, just say if it doesn't. Again, it's going to run games, which has been the narrative this whole generation. It's going to run games at a higher frame rate and a better resolution than the fucking Neo. And that's all that fucking. It's not going to fuck all that. It's going to run games better and look better graphically than the fucking Neo. That's what this conversation is about. I don't give a fuck if it does 2K at 10 frames a second. The Neo won't be able to do it. Multi-plat games are going to run better and look better on the fucking Scorpio. That's
the bottom line.
That's the bottom line. You guys have pushed this agenda. 1080p, he had IGN holding the scale, 1080p up P, 900p down here. I don't give a fuck if it's 3K 60 frames a second. It's going to run better and look better on the Scorpio is all that I'm saying. So don't try to fucking change the fuck. Well, it's not going to do 4K 60. Is the Neo doing 4K 60? No. Hell no. You guys made fun of
it's doing 18p 60.
Yeah, you guys made fun of the Xbox One with all these strange and don't be wrong, the Xbox has some crazy ass resolutions, 792p, 1800, 900p. I get it. It is what it is. We took the L. So just like we took our L, you motherfuckers take your L. Stop trying to move the goalposts. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You know what I mean? We got the better goddamn system. And it's not the Xbox 2. It's in the same ecosystem as the Xbox One. Phil has said this over 3 times already. It's not the Xbox 2. It's no different than what Sony's doing. They just have much better hardware. Plain and fucking system. Plain and fucking. It's a mid-cycle refresh. The same thing that Sony's doing. You know what I mean? Plain and fucking simple.
My brother, I gotta go. I'm sorry, man.
No problem, man. My man Dean is out here. Thank you for swinging by, man. I'm gonna stay here for another 15 minutes, my damn. Fuck with these people in the comment section.
Yeah. Before I go though, I just want to say to the people, they need to wait until all the information comes out on the new Vega architecture. Yeah, they need to wait before they can say it's not going to do 4K 60 frames per second, because the Polaris is the baby, and the Polaris was amazing what it could do for $200. So imagine what their top tier will be able to do. That's all.
Shout out to me, give my man Dean a round of applause. Thank you, Dean, the tech guy, for swinging by. You can catch Dean on his own channel. I'm gonna leave the link to his channel, but Dean is a member of the Xbox Beast Fire podcast. Give my man Dean a round of applause. I'll talk to you later on, good brother.
All right, peace.
You got it. So going back to segments again. So now you guys are talking about some 60 frame. Like, what games have you guys been playing this generation that have been locked at 60 fucking frames? All your multiplayers have been 1080p 30, and they haven't even been locked 30. So don't start your shit, man. Like, stop it. You know what I mean? Like, don't just keep it funky. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just take the fucking L. The Xbox Scorpio is a better goddamn machine. You know what I mean? Period. And PC, I don't fucking play on PC. I don't give a fuck. I'm not knocking those that play on PC. Cool. I'm here talking about console. This is not a PC channel. You know what I mean? Trust me, I can buy a $20,000 rig if I choose to. That's not an issue for me, okay? I don't care. I have a very capable PC behind me that will probably dance circles around the fucking Scorpio. I don't give a fuck, but I play on what my friends are. I love the simplicity of consoles. I'm an Xbox dude through and through. You know what I mean? Now you guys are trying to say, well, the Xbox Scorpio doesn't have any true exclusives. The Neo doesn't have any true fucking exclusives. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to buy any Neo-only fucking games. So going by your same logic, there's no reason for you to buy the Neo. That's not going to have any fucking exclusives. So you guys can have it both fucking ways. You know what I mean? I can play God of War fucking 3 on my fucking Samsung 4K television. So does that make God of War not a Sony exclusive anymore? You know what I mean? Again, you guys you try to fucking change. The Scorpio is not good because they don't have any exclusive. Listen, first of all, why is it not good? Because someone else gets to play the game. If Microsoft, it's more money for the fucking franchise. As long as you can't play that game on the fucking Nintendo NX or the fucking PlayStation 4 or Neo, that's all that fucking counts. You know, I can't play Street Fighter 5 on my Xbox One. All that fucking counts. You play what you like. Like the fuck, like I don't understand. Like that's like me saying Smash Brothers is not an exclusive because I can play Smash Brothers on my 3DS and it's Smash Brothers on the Wii U. You know how fucking stupid that sound? Is fucking Halo 1 a fucking Xbox exclusive? I can play that on PC. Some of the OG Xbox biggest fucking games have been on fucking PC. Who the fuck cares? If you're gonna I don't want to play against motherfuckers with mouse and keyboard. I don't want to do that. I don't want to get sniped across the fucking board. You know what I mean? I don't want to fucking boot my game up and keep crashing, getting the blue screen and death. I like fucking consoles because games are better optimized on fucking consoles. I'm not saying you don't have bugs, but games are better optimized on consoles. It is what it is. Now, I know that you're not forced to use a mouse and a keyboard on Steam and again, but that's not, my friends don't play that. I'll play with what's comfortable for me. I don't want to play on a fucking monitor. I want to play on my big ass 4K television. I understand you can do that on a fucking piece on the PC, but that's just not me. If you guys like to play, Microsoft says thank you. And like I said before, if you really want to know who fucking runs gaming, it's Microsoft. It's not Sony. It's not fucking Nintendo. Because if you add up all the Windows 10 devices, which my Xbox One is, there are way more fucking Windows 10 devices out there in the world than fucking PlayStations or fucking Nintendos combined. If you just be if you want to know who makes more money off gaming, it's way far more Microsoft than fucking Sony or fucking Nintendo. They don't fucking care. It's a business. And again, I don't care. I'm not in it to count Microsoft's money. And And I don't give a fuck. I really don't. I play what I like. So when you guys say the Scorpio's not gonna, that's the dumbest shit ever. Like, stop trying to fucking move the goalposts. Stop it. We're here. I'm not, and again, I'm not knocking those that play on PC. Fine. And I'm not knocking it. You know, most people hate on things to something they can't afford. How you say, man, fear what they don't understand, hate what they can't conquer. I guess it's the theory of man became a monster. That's not my issue. You know what I mean? I don't suffer from hate nor envy. I can, but most, like, I'm not saying not anything, but anything that mostly that I put my heart to or my heart's desire, I can afford. It's not an issue for me. Okay, I can show you I can show you $10,000 right now on a fucking whim. It's not an issue for me. I'm a console guy. That's what I like. That's what I prefer. You know what I mean? Microsoft doesn't care if you buy their fucking, well, there's no need for me to buy a Scorpio because well, fucking buy your games on inside the Windows 10 store. Microsoft says fucking thank you. When you bought Uncharted 4, Microsoft says thank you. Why? What's that little symbol in the back of that box? They have it. Who owns that? Microsoft. When you buy your fucking multiplats on the fucking PlayStation 4, Microsoft says thank you. Why? You see that? You know what I mean? Habit is used in about 99.9% of the third multiplat game. Microsoft doesn't give a fuck. So, you know what I mean? I can tell you, to be real, Sony is nothing but a fucking pimple on Microsoft's ass. They don't. I'm just being real because I don't like to talk about Microsoft money because it's not my money. But when you guys come and talk about there's not going to be an exclusive in this way, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, that's the dumbest shit ever in the fucking world. Like, I don't fucking play on fucking PCs. For those that like to play on PCs, Microsoft don't give a fuck. Cool for them. What the fuck? Gears of War was on a fucking PC. Did I enjoy that less as being an Xbox One fan, a 360 fan? No, it was still revolution for me. That was the dopest shit. And I far more prefer Gears of War than fucking Halo. I'm not a big Halo dude. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck. Jade Empire. I love that on my fucking OG Xbox. Great fucking game. Did I give a fuck that it was on PC? No, I'm a console dude. But it's only in this quote-unquote fake-ass console war that you guys like to talk about that shit. Like, stop it. You can't have it both ways. If you want to take that same theory that you're trying to use with Microsoft, then Sony don't have any fucking exclusives because I can use PlayStation Now on my fucking television. Okay? You know what I mean? Stop trying to fucking flip the narrative. So if it's not 4K 60, who gives a fuck? If games are going to run better, look better, you know what I mean, on the fucking Scorpio. This is what this whole generation has been about. You guys have pushed and fucking pushed that narrative all fucking day. And now you don't have it anymore. Well, it's all about the game. Listen, that's your fucking opinion. Maybe I don't want to fucking play Spider-Man. Maybe I don't want to fucking play Zero Horizon. But guess what? We all enjoy those same multiplats, right? What you motherfuckers tell me? I'm about to get this work. Now I'm off my shit now. Would you tell me, Zaire, why would you buy the inferior version? You 1080p and you know this and it's 1080p. Why would you buy the 900p? I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I told you then, I don't have a 900. Where the fuck is a 900p television? Everything's fucking upscale. You know what I mean? When you guys were pumping your chest about Killzone, right? That bitch went 1080p. So stop the bullshit. You see how fucking stupid you sound? And now you have all these big fucking publications like IGN and this. What they say, they gave the nod to Call of Duty Ghost for the PlayStation 4 version, right? Because it was in 1080p. Come to find out the goddamn game was 720p. And it become 1080p till after the patch. You know what I mean? And I'm not one that don't have, I have both consoles. And if games look at that much better, like I told you guys then, if games look at that much better graphically on my PlayStation 4, I would have bought 99% of my fucking games on my fucking PlayStation 4 because I'm a fucking black fucking American. I love beautiful cars, black bitches with fat asses, Puerto Rican bitches with fat asses, white bitches with fat asses, you know what I mean? And fucking apple pie and fucking coffee and fast fucking cars, the American fucking way. You know what I mean? That's how I am. You know what I mean? I'm keeping it real. And I'm gonna buy the fucking Neo, like I told my Xbox dudes. You know what I mean? I'm a gamer. Don't get me wrong. I do prefer the Xbox, but guess what? If games look that much better in Neo mode, you know, this holiday season, I'm gonna buy some of my multiplats on the fucking Neo. Fuck, you know what I mean? I don't see the problem with you Sony motherfuckers, you weirdos. And there's that most Xbox guys, we don't mind having a rival console. You know, we don't, because it's really not a fucking war. If it came down to money and sale, Sony would have been lost this shit eons ago, okay? Sony out there selling builders and shit to keep the lights on, not Microsoft. I'm just being real. Sony, again, is not a pimple on Microsoft's ass. They're not, okay? They're not. The Xbox, the entertainment division is worth more than Sony in the whole. Look, in the whole, worth more than a whole fucking company. Like, if Microsoft can acquire fucking Sony and Nintendo and not miss a fucking step, it was really about that. So let's be honest here, okay? Let's be honest, okay? You know, if you will, well, listen, the Xbox One is in the Windows 10 division, okay? It's fact, because my Xbox One is a Windows 10 device, okay? Look at how much the Windows department is worth compared to Sony in the whole. Now you see what the fuck I'm talking about, okay? So don't come in with the shit. I don't give a fuck. I really, really don't, okay? But you motherfuckers like to fucking change the narrative. Take your fucking L. The Scorpio is a much better fucking console. No, it's not the Xbox 2. No, it's not it's not. It's a fucking, it's in the Xbox One ecosystem. It's a mid-cycle upgrade, just like the same thing as Sony doing. It's just that Sony doesn't have the money to fucking, I told you guys this shit 7 months ago. I said, and again, what was told to me by a motherfucker who doesn't have a dog in the fight, he said, when it comes to hardware again, Microsoft will never be caught with their pants down. And I told you guys that. What you said, well, no, Sony's they're a console company, they're a hardware company. Okay, now what? What do you got to say? You still running with that shit? Well, Sony's going to take out the power supply and slap another GPU in there. No, not for nothing. I hope that they do. I hope the fucking PlayStation 4 Neo comes out and it's fucking 6 teraflops. I hope that it does. Know why? Because I'm a gamer. But guess what? If they do, Microsoft is still going to fucking hold them. I would bet my fucking channel on it. Like I told you guys before, that new consoles were coming out, and some people wanted to bet me. I'll see if I get paid, and I told you guys that if this by my lucky stars, if Sony makes the fucking, because the only thing they can do most likely, because they have a contract with AMD, and that contract's been in effect for 2 years, that they most, like I tried to tell this one guy, he was saying, well, the PS4 is going to use the 480. You're going by the 480 specs or whatever the benchmark that's in a PC. This is a console. You can't overclock a goddamn card that much as a fucking, you know, if you never played on a rig before or a piece, a gaming rig, look how big that fucking card. You can't put a fucking card that size in a goddamn console. A card, that's why gaming rigs are so fucking tall, big, because it needs a lot of air. Okay, unless you're gonna have a console about the size of a goddamn desktop PC, those are not the same benchmarks for a fucking console. They're not. Okay, and again, Sony's Achilles heel, again, which is gonna be, they're using the same very, very shitty Jaguar CPU, slightly higher. You know what I mean? I'm just being real. Only Sony thing really did was they, the memory, the same 8 gigs and a slightly higher memory bandwidth. And the same CPU overclocked a little more, nothing more. And but they did give with the Polaris, they went from 18 CUs to 36. And again, and I'm not saying that the 4 teraflops is something that to be scoffed at, because it's going to make some beautiful looking games. They are. I'm not. You don't hear me saying that, but I'm telling you, compared to the Scorpio, it's going to be night and fucking day. I'm just being real. Now, if you think that developers are not going to they're not going to do that. If they listen, let me tell you something. You remember that all that shit, hashtag no parody? You remember that shit, that witch hunter you was on? If developers wasn't going to put the best, fully use a console, there wouldn't have been no resolution gate this generation. There wouldn't have been no 900p versus 800p. We wouldn't have got that. Okay, so if you don't think that games or multi-plats are going to look much better on the fucking Scorpio, don't fucking fool yourself. Because guess what? With the Windows Universal UDP, they can just make one game for the highest in the game. The game scales automatically. That's why that guy from Epic was fucking fucking complaining saying that Microsoft was trying to take over gaming, because that saves developers so much fucking money. They ain't got to worry about making the PC build and they make the console build. No, they can make one fucking game and that bitch will scale up or scale down. You know what I mean? I'm just being real. So, you know, I'm gonna go to a couple questions here. I think Zaire is loaded. He was shooting up stores in '99. Now he's rich, so maybe he's right. Let me go. So let me see what the fuck you guys are talking about, man. Let me see here. Hold on. Let me go some scroll up. Let me scroll up, man. Why is Zaire so passionate? He don't even. Hey, bro, you don't know what I do. Like, I don't play games. Let me tell you something. Again, see, believe nothing of what you hear and half of what you see. Okay. I have 2 gamer tags. I have one Zaire gamer tag that's almost about 60,000 gamer score. Then I have another one that's private, and I have about 80, gamer score on that one. You know what I mean? The reason, like I said again, because you have the weirdos. Like, you don't know what I do. Like, you don't know anything about me. Nothing. You know what I mean? You don't know anything that I do. My public profile is for you guys here. You know what I mean? Some of you have my other one. You know what I mean? Or whatever the case may be. But you don't know nothing that I do. So stop assuming that you know me. I'm so passionate because I'm in love with your grandmother. That bitch has been holding me down since '88. Stop being a fucking weirdo. You know what I mean? Bang next granny, not the fat ass. Play no games, nigga. Okay. Oh, you mad? That's your you mad when we play my games? Even if I don't, what is that to you? Even if I'm being honest with you, a lot of shit I get sent to me by developers, and I don't make a big deal. What does that have to do with you? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just being honestly, what does that have to do with you? The Neo was still weak compared to the Scorpio. So do me a favor, suck my dick to the head pop off. Apparently 10,000. Fuck PC. Fuck. Zaire, calm down. You sound like a broken. No, I'm not. Well, calm down for what? If you don't want, let's disconnect. Yeah. What we got here? Let me scroll up right here to the top. Just count. Your brother's right now. Zaire, you are not us though. What do you mean you are not us though? Hey, Alex, do me a favor. Whatever you're fucking saying, write it right down in the comment section, because I'm getting a part of, I don't know what the fuck you told you. What you mean you're not us? I'm not waiting for Scorpio RX for launching the 20. I'm saving up. What? I'm not waiting for this. What, bro? You don't have to wait for it. No one's forcing you to buy a fuck. If you want, listen, Alex Escobar, if you want to play on a PC, play on the PC. I don't. Who's waiting for what? You know what I mean? I don't understand what you're saying. Why is that even a gripe? That's your God-given. If you're in America, whatever. I'm hoping that you're in a free country and not in a communist, country. So that's your right. You know what I mean? I don't want to play on PC. I don't want to fucking play with a mouse and keyboard. That's you. That's not us. That's you. You know what I mean? Consoles will always rule. You know what I mean? I'm just being real. Like, the majority of motherfuckers play on console. That's just fact. Fuck Zaire too. His game work never made his way to my bank. What? Fuck Zaire too. His game work never made his way to my bank. All right. I'm invested more into the ecosystem than specs, bro. I don't fuck the Scorpio KB3. I'm still buying that shit. Okay. Congrats. Trust me, man. I want that 4K. Just like I don't, hey, bro. And again, GD10. And here's the thing. And again, I which is cool if it's 4K 60. That's never really swayed my purchase and buying a game. Whatever the resolution or whatever the frame rate may be, that's never swayed my purchase and buying a game. I'm just being real, because 99.9% of the games that we played this generation on consoles, if they were 1080, they were 1080p 30. And I didn't enjoy. You know what? Damn. You know what? I think I would enjoy Grand Theft Auto a little bit more if it was 1080p 60. Didn't bother me. None. So, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Like I said, I'm just telling you what I basically was telling you. You go onto those sites with those benchmarks, you don't know what. First, you know what GPU that they're using. Whatever Microsoft using, it's going to be custom, and they're using the fucking Zen in the big. We don't know. Those chips don't come out until next year. You know what I mean? It's all what I'm saying. So you going by a site, you can't benchmark something that's not even out yet in the public. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying, the purpose of this show here, because I've been getting a lot of bullshit ass comments of people that have been pushing the narrative of because Sony games rendered at slightly higher resolution. Now we know now the Scorpio's not it's not going to be 4K 60. So what? The Neo's not going to be 4K at all. Fact, like that's I mean. So like I said, give me motherfucking 4K, give me death. D Brain, he said, I thought you had a $12,000 PC. Actually, if you smart ass, it was a little more than 12,000. And you the same motherfucker. Like I said again, that's why I said back. I love when you guys question my finances. Some of you motherfuckers, the same motherfuckers there that said I didn't spend $9,000 on a 4K television. You know what's crazy as hell? And I don't like to brag, even though I make sometimes come off like I'm smug. I'm not. I'm really a very, very humble guy. I come from humble beginnings. I've done a lot for a lot of people within this gaming community. I done bought consoles for people. I done bought games. And I'm the type of dude, if you do something and you have to brag about it, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. But you guys don't know anything about me. You know what I mean? If I was to show you some of my cars or whatever, you swear my shit was stolen. My Instagram is Zaire 2005. You know what I mean? When you guys were saying, making these videos, see, I'm going to tell you this. There's a reason why I left a lot of these videos alone on YouTube, because I will more or less fuck with my subscribers than fucking other YouTubers. When I tell you this, sometimes when a lie is more entertaining than the truth. Would it have been easier for me just to come up here and show my which I tried to do once, actually twice. If you go on my channel, I have a video of me calling Black Bond on Skype to make the bet happen, me showing my rig and receipts and all that stuff. But he never answered the Skype call. It was crazy. He was still writing comments in my video, which I have him writing comments in my video, but wouldn't answer the fucking Skype call. Second, I can't be cybered. That shit there doesn't bother me, bro, with you, because you don't know anything about me. You know what I mean? If it was a bet was for $150 of Xbox Live, I said, put the bread up, show me the point card. I told you, if I don't show you my rig, I will shut my channel down and give you $300. You know what I mean? He never did that. He never put the points. He just made a bunch of videos. That's what I said, it wasn't about the rig. You know what I mean? I never once came up with bragging and saying I had this and I was talking to someone else. That's what I said, I don't fuck with these widows who took what I said and took it all the way across the street. And the same motherfuckers that made a big fuss about my $12,000 PC, actually it was cost a little more than 12 grand. They said I didn't even own a $4,000 PC. You know what I mean? So guess what? When I did the video, that's what I'm telling you, there's always something. When I did the video showing that, know what they said? Why you get this Titan and this? You should have got this, and that was shit. On like it's always something. I did a video and I'm gonna say this because and that's the last time I don't give a fuck what you think. I did a video in my mother-in-law's car, checking her car to get an oil change, talking about video games. And you know what motherfuckers did? Look, how could he say he can afford a $12,000 PC? He's riding around. It wasn't even my fucking car. So you know what I did? I went home and did another video in another car of mine, right? And the other car wasn't mine. You know what they said then? Oh, that car wasn't mine. It was rented. So I pulled up to my house in my driveway. You saw a BM. You saw a Volvo truck. You saw, my fucking Range Rover was across the street. Like, you guys don't know anything about me. Stop assuming that you know me. You don't. You know what I mean? Like I said, I can't be cyberbullied. I don't give a fuck what you think about me and this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? Those who rock out with me know. I have no reason to lie. But, like I said, bro, I'm going to leave it at that. You know what I mean? You can believe what you want to believe. But you same motherfucker, he ain't got no $9,000 4K TV. I put you know what? Maybe not a big deal. Put the fucking pictures on my Instagram. And you know what was the killer of it? I went the following week and bought another 4K television for Sony. I spent $4,500 on. You know what I mean? Could I did a video showing you? I could have. I'm fine. I don't have a TV that's in my house that's not 4K. Fact. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just being real. Like, stop thinking that you know me. You guys don't know anything about. I don't think I'm better than anyone, but trust me, I'm okay financially. If you don't get that by now, I don't know what the fuck to tell you, bro. I don't. You know what I mean? I did a video showing like fucking $43,000. Oh, that money's fake. This, that, and the other. Like, it's always something, man. So don't you just stop worrying about me and what I can afford and worry about yourself, man. So you know what the knee kicker is? Before I get the fuck out of here, you have motherfuckers has made all the right decisions in life, dotted all their I's, crossed all their T's, and I still have more than them. I don't think I'm better than anybody, but that's a fact. I had a fire, lost just about everything, right? You know, it is what it is. Came back and still got way more than them. You know what I mean? I'm just being honest. You know, I own several homes, own 2 apartment buildings. I'm okay. You know, I don't have to work a day in my fucking life. My wife's a principal. We're okay. in the Johnson household. So keep counting and thinking about what I can afford, bro. I have 2 kids in college, paying for with no school loans. Okay. So again, you think that you know next gen 720, that's just the character. You don't know Al Bishop Isaiah. You don't know anything about me, bro. So it is what it is, man. But anyway, like I said, I'm getting back to it. I just had to say that right there because some of you said, like, you think that you're taking shots and spikes and you're not. I think it's the silliest shit in the fucking world. You know what I mean? I've given several people on YouTube a couple of $1,000, you know what I mean, to help them out through life. You've never seen me do a video about it bragging. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So if you want to, if whoever, I mean, it's like, I'm a real dude. I fuck with those that fuck with me. Like, you don't know me. You know what I mean? No, I'm not, but I'm a very simple man. My grandma said, you can count your money, you ain't got no money. And I can count my money, but I'm all right, though. You know, for those that, I will promise you, for those who that make these videos talking about me, I can guarantee you that I'm well off, much better than they are, man. That's all that I'm saying, man. But on that note, I'm like, hey, Jonathan Threws, nigga, shut up. I can't. Your grandmother got a face in my lap. Block. Shit. Arbiter, man. Are you back, man? I thought you got in trouble for fucking with what's my man name? Ain't you in the Air Force or some shit? You back on YouTube trolling? Must I call the Air Force on your ass? John Zay, do you think devs will be able to harness the full power of the Scorpio due to the fact they also have to? Yes, because of the Windows UDP. Yes, UWP. Yes, they will, bro. Yes, it's fact. If you don't, if I say it again, if you don't know, Josh, I think you asked that question before. Developers can make one game with DirectX 12 and Windows 10 is one code. Same as cell phones, same as consoles, same as PC. And with that new thing, the game can scale up. They can make it for the highest specs possible. It will scale up or scale down. So yes, they can fully harness. It's not a problem. Yeah. Why buy the Scorpio if you have a 12,000? Why buy a Scorpio? It's why have anal sex with your grandmother and her ass flat as a goddamn trapper keeper. I let her old bitch, man. I mean, it's another weirdo. You got to go. I got to know. I get too many weirdos, man. Boo. Welcome to Neverland Land. Yeah, do I got any real questions here before we get the hell out of here? All right, because I walk my dog. Arbiter. Hey, Arbiter, what's up, man? You like motherfucking Tom Hanks, man. Hey, what's up, Needle Dick Arbiter? What up, yo? Hey, Needle Dick. You ain't learned your lesson. You still on the internet troll. You almost fuck your career up fucking trolling on goddamn You back in the comment section? I feel like a Arbiter. I feel like you're harassing me, man. Leave me alone, bro. If I make that phone golden Langley, fuck your life up. Let me see. I got any Sony fan or scared now? Take the L. Zaire, I like even if he had to join a gang. What? Zaire, I like even if he had to join a gang. I don't know what the fuck that means. Why are you a corporate slave? PC God? I'm a corporate slave. You see your name? Jesus Christ. Oh, all right. Sony fan bears are made because Microsoft are doing something bigger than yeah, they are. They hate is real. All right. I don't see anyone make any questions here, but anyway, well, on that note, man, I tell your grandmother to stop calling my line, or I'm gonna change the number. Hey, the Arbiter. Hey, listen here, man. I heard you got in trouble, man, for fucking your sister. Huh? Heard you got caught. Hey, Arbiter, I heard you got caught sucking a stray dog's dick behind the dumpster. Nasty, wet dog, smelling motherfucker. I'm out of here, man. Let me block this widow ass nigga, man. Go on. But anyway, man, thank you guys for rocking out with me, man. And yeah, you Sony dudes, take that L, man. Be happy with what you got, man. But stop trying to change the narrative and move the goalposts, man. Microsoft got the upper hand, man. We out of here, man. It's your boy Next 720, and thank you for rocking out. Later on today, we will be doing the multiplayer podcast to have some fun with it. You know what I mean? And so a few other topics that I would like to talk about. You know, but thank you for rocking out, man. bacon, bacon, bacon.